Hey everyone, happy back to school time. It's like one of my favorite times of year. I always like living my life sort of on the academic calendar versus the regular calendar because in January, it's the start of the new year and that's exciting with New Year's resolutions and goals and all of that, but it's also like the middle of winter and like nothing exciting is happening. But there is something so exciting about the start of a new school year and back to school, and then it's the fall and then it's the holidays, and it's just like the best time of year. So I love back to school time. I also love office supplies and school supplies. So I love that right now when I go to Target or wherever, there's pencils and everything everywhere. So this is my favorite time. But today I want to talk to you about how to use your planner most efficiently as you're going back to school. So this is really aimed at students, but this could be good for literally anybody in middle school, high school, college, grad school, or beyond. So just some ways to strategically use your planner so that you get the most out of it. So let's jump right in. Tip number one is to have an official move into your planner. So this is like a very fun, like my favorite thing to do when I get a new planner, but maybe you go to a coffee shop or you go out to breakfast or you go sit at the library or at your kitchen table, wherever it's quiet, you listen to some music, you put on a candle. Like, I don't know, do you do this? Am I the only person that does this? If you do this, leave me a message in the comments below. But it is just like such a therapeutic and almost like a weight off my chest because it's like, I feel so organized. Everything is in order in my life. So when you move into your planner, what do you want to put in there? You want to think major events. So birthdays, anniversaries, wedding, travel, any vacations that you have booked, recurring meetings, anytime that you might be meeting with a program advisor, really, truly anything. Because as the year gets busier, you have assignments, things are happening, events. You want to make sure that things don't coincide, you don't wind up with conflicts, you don't overbook yourself so that you're so stressed that you are just feeling overwhelmed by the middle of the semester or wherever you are in your program. So just keep that in mind. Having a move into your planner can be really beneficial. Tip number two, this kind of goes along with tip number one, is to remember those like random things that might apply only to you or your school, a little bit beyond those birthdays and weddings. So for example, maybe your college has like reading week or it's pep rally week or homecoming or something's going on, something that might be another event, something a little bit additional that falls outside of regular holidays and events. So tip number two is to really think about some other things that are happening, and as they happen over the year, don't forget to include them as well. Tip number three is bring your planner with you. Now in all my other planner videos, I'm always like, when you choose a planner, you have to decide, do you want to take it with you? Do you want to leave it home? I always recommend for a student bringing their planner with them. And here's why. If you are going to school in person, having that when you're in class as a professor or a teacher says to you, hey, don't forget that this is happening next week. Hey, you might want to study this. Oh, that's going to be on the test. Or you really need to know that so that you understand the next concept, or something's coming 3 weeks out. Having your planner with you is really important because by the time you get home, you might be like, did they say that was on the 24th or the 27th? I can't remember. So that's really important, bringing your planner with you. Same goes for if you're in school virtually. Keep your planner with you on your desk as you're in those virtual classes. Those announcements are being made, assignments are being announced. You want to make sure that you write everything down so you don't forget anything and you stay organized. Tip number four is to follow a schedule of when you look at your planner. So maybe every day, first thing in the morning, you spend 2 minutes looking at it to make sure that you know what's going to happen today, anything major, any milestones, things that are due, anything like that. Maybe you look at it the second that you get to school, or maybe you look at it in first period or during your first class of the day, or maybe you look at it at lunch when you have a break. Maybe you like to look at it as soon as you get home because that's when you start doing your work so you can plan accordingly to make sure you're getting everything done. Maybe you like to look at it twice a day, but your planner is only going to be able to help you if as you're writing in it and using it, you refer back to it. If you don't refer back to it, what's the point, right? So don't be disappointed with yourself if you miss a day or, you accidentally forget something, but the more consistent you are with your planner, the better it's going to be and the more it's going to help you in your academic success. Tip number five is as you're doing homework, papers, assignments, anything, keep your planner with you in case it reminds you of another task that you need to do. For example, maybe you're doing a math assignment and you remember, oh, do you know what? There's another assignment that goes along with this and I almost forgot. Well, you won't forget because your planner is right there and you can write it down. Or maybe you're typing up a paper and you realize, oh my gosh, I forgot to post on the discussion board. I need to do that by Thursday at midnight or else I'm not going to get credit for it and it's Tuesday. Well, if you write it down because your planner's with you as you're doing your assignment, then tomorrow on Wednesday, when you look at your planner, you're gonna remember to do your discussion board. So as you are working on your assignments, keep your planner with you so that it's easy to reference and easy to add to. Tip number 6, and I actually have to backtrack a little bit to the markers, the highlighters, the pens, all of that. Tip number 6 is to make sure that you're not making a system that's too difficult to follow or maintain. So when I was in college, this girl sat next to me and she had the most gorgeous, immaculate planner that I have ever seen in my life. Every single class had a different color. It was color coded, blocked off. I mean, it looked gorgeous. And even I, as a planner person, couldn't maintain something like that. So if that works for you, it worked for her, go for it by all means. But if you're a person that sometimes struggles to stay organized, maybe having 7 different color pens, 4 different color highlighters, and different stickers on you at all times to stay organized is not the best solution for you. So maybe you make a system that has 3 highlighters, 1 pen, and 1 pencil. No stickers, unless you're feeling fancy that day. But my point is, don't do something that's going to be detrimental as opposed to beneficial. You want something that's gonna help you stay organized as opposed to make you feel stressed out about it. Tip number 7 is to add reminders throughout your planner that will help you stay organized and complete some of those bigger tasks. So let me give you an example. Let's say you go to class on Monday and you find out that you have a really big paper due the following Friday, meaning you have all of this week and all of next week to get it done, but it's really important that you do well on this. So here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to just write paper due next Friday because that's probably not going to help you. So let's work backwards. So you start on Friday, that's when the paper's due, but maybe you like to turn things in on Thursday, the day before, so that way when you go to submit, if there are any technology issues on your platform or you're with your internet, whatever the case may be, you've turned it in a day early. So then maybe Wednesday is finish up some last minute things. So Tuesday, you want to have your final draft written. Well, really what that's telling you is that all of next week, you're sort of doing wrap up, which means you need to do your paper this week. So maybe what you write on Monday, the first day when you find out that your paper is assigned, is paper due. Maybe Tuesday and Wednesday is write rough draft. Maybe Thursday is do any additional research or, whatever the case may be. But planning out those larger projects is going to help you succeed, because if you just write down something like do paper, do large assignment, do presentation, it can feel so overwhelming and daunting, and sometimes when you do that, you don't even really know where to begin. So break down those bigger tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks, and you will have a lot more success. So you'll be able to see everything mapped out well in advance. That way the chances of you feeling stressed out aren't as high. And lastly, tip number 8 is don't feel bad about reevaluating and revamping mid-year if your planner is not working for you. So maybe you thought to yourself, I don't need anything fancy, and you got a really small planner and it turns out that you don't use it because you can't even fit your handwriting in there. Or maybe you thought that you were going to use a daily, but having a daily is too overwhelming. You don't want to have a specific page for each day and you're not using it. Or maybe you got a weekly and you do need a daily because you need more space to write. Whatever the case is, definitely look around and find another planner if the one that you're using isn't working for you. That being said, there are so many planners out right now and really year round. So let's say you go back to school in January after the holiday break, or maybe that's when your semester starts and you want to get a planner then. Instead of getting an academic planner, you can get a calendar planner. So there are so many options. My favorite places to look are Michael's, Target, and Staples. They always have really good options for students, no matter your level, whether you're in middle school or you're getting your MBA. There are so many good options in all of those stores. So anyway, I hope that these tips were helpful. I know that going back to school can be overwhelming and getting into a groove, getting into routine can take some time, but I wish you a successful school year and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.